Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. So I recently found an old ladder thrown out, an old wooden ladder that I think a painter and decorator had been using for many years. It looked really old and I think it was handmade as well. Initially I wanted to either use it or restore it, but I later found out that a lot of the wood was really badly warped and bent on the frame, so I thought, what can I salvage from this? And I ended up removing the steps, and the steps of the ladder looked nice and straight, no bends in them, no warps, and they looked like they were made out of hardwood. So I decided to make some key hooks with them.
Okay, so here is the ladder that I found. I started off by removing the steps with the impact driver. These parts are probably the only parts that are worth salvaging on this ladder. And you can just about see the grain through all the paint there. So for the hooks, I've got a selection of hooks that I keep. I just needed to pick out some appropriate ones, some nice small ones. I thought these would be ideal for this project. I've got enough for the 2 key racks, and you can see they've got rust on them, so they'll need cleaning up later on. Next, I could just put these onto the ladder steps and roughly work out how long these racks need to be. Using the speed square, I could make some marks and then transfer the marks over to the other piece. The steps were a bit wide, so I decided to cut them down on the table saw, and they were already quite straight, so I didn't need to worry about squaring up the edges. Now I could trim off the sides on the miter saw. And as you can see, the pieces were nice and square. So now I need to sand down these hooks. I've got some 180 grit sandpaper. I need to give them a good sanding down, ready for painting. For the paint, I've got this sort of 2-in-1 primer and paint. I applied 2 coats of this. So the surfaces were quite rough, there was paint on them, years of wear, so I decided to run them through the planer. And now the wood looks as good as new. On the back side, I just used a scraper to remove most of the grime. This will never be seen, so it doesn't really matter. Now I need to make some marks for the hooks. I've just roughly spaced them again. I drew a line at the top. This will help to sort of centralise the hooks with the combination square, and then with the ruler I could just mark out where I want the hooks to go. And I could mark up each side where I want to drill a clearance hole for a screw to attach them to a wall. Then I could just roughly mark up where I'm going to put some holes for the hooks. I used an awl to make the marks ready for the drill press. So on the drill press I started off with the 2 clearance holes either side. And then with a much smaller bit I could drill 2 pilot holes for each hook. I wanted to add a decorative edge to the key racks, so I've got a Roman ogee bit in the trim router. I had to take it slow because this wood's quite dense, but I just about managed to do it in the end. Now on to sanding. I gave them a quick sanding with a 120 grit. And then a final hand sanding, taking off all the rough edges. For the finish I'm going to be using some boiled linseed oil, nice and quick and easy to apply, and it really brings out that lovely grain. Then I could buff off any excess oil with a cloth. Now for adding the hooks on, I just need to screw them into position, and I used a set square to help me to get them square as I added them. So to attach these to a wall, I've got these little brass washers. They go over the clearance hole, and then a screw can be added like so. And that was the key racks complete.
Okay, so that is about it for this video. I think they turned out alright in the end. I did manage to salvage a bit of wood from the ladder, and I've still got a few steps left to make some more as well. So that just goes to show you can make things out of what would seem to be junk and have no value, but if you look under the surface, if you look a bit closer, you can find stuff that has value and is still good to use. You just need a bit of know-how and some tools, and you can make stuff. So I hope you found this video useful and inspirational, and if you did, please remember to like and also consider subscribing for more DIY related videos. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.